What's going on, YouTube? I'm here with my top 5 reasons why I love having my Dodge Challenger RT. My 5th reason is price. I was able to get mine for just under $17,000, which is a pretty good price for an RT model Challenger. And you know, I try to play it smart and, you know, wait to the end of the year where there's a little bit more of the off season for sports and muscle type cars. And you know, I tried my luck and I was able to find one at a local dealership, West College Auto Sales. I definitely have to give them a shout out because this is the place where I was able to get mine, and I got it at the right price. And almost 4 or 5 months later, I definitely have had no issues, and I've definitely enjoyed it a ton. Even better is for under $20,000, the total cost of being able to get this car with a 3-year warranty with, you know, 36,000 miles. That combination for basically my first sports car or muscle car, which it more so is, I'd say that right there is enough to say that, you know, that's my 5th reason. My 4th reason for really enjoying and just loving to have this car is the styling. This is something that Dodge definitely did a really good job, a great job of taking a modern approach while still showing lots of design cues from the original models of the Challenger. And it's a great combination. It definitely is something to see and look at, and it definitely stands out in a crowd of cars, sports cars, muscle cars, everyday cars. No matter what it is, it definitely is a car that stands out. So I definitely have to give kudos to Dodge when they reintroduced this car in 2008 for basically showing that you can respect the old and still give something new that it reaches all audiences. My 3rd reason for really enjoying having this car, it has to be the fact that, you know, the exhaust that comes along with the styling, that right there is what puts it over the top. Because to me, anything from a GT all the way up to a Demon, it's gonna look good. So the one thing that takes it to that next level is the fact that you have that rumble that comes from the Hemi V8 that lets it be known that this is one of the big boys in the lineup. And even the RT, which is the baby big boy, it still has more than enough power, and it still has the exhaust sound. It's definitely going to give it the respect and get that much more attention, because you know what, it's a Challenger with the Hemi. So I definitely have to say, you know, there's kudos to the Hemi sound when you're putting your foot on the exhaust or foot on the gas and taking off and letting it rumble, and just the joy of hearing that when you're taking off. So that's number 3. I would say number 2 is the fun factor that comes from having a rear-wheel drive V8 engine car that's fairly heavy and definitely aggressive when you want to take a turn and you're putting your foot on the gas. It definitely gives it that tailspin that'll give you a little bit of a heart race, and definitely something that, you know, you don't want to play around with if you're, you know, not a driver that's experienced and comfortable with rear-wheel drive vehicles. And of course, since this is my first rear-wheel drive vehicle, it's that much more of a rush for me, because each time is a learning experience, and it's an opportunity for me to kind of push the limits just a little bit more and enjoy it, you know, on an open road. Of course, always going to speed limit, you know. So that's just something that you know, you gotta enjoy it. And because it is such an enjoyable, comfortable ride, I might add, you know, it takes some of the hassle of not feeling like going somewhere on those sluggish days, and it's just kind of like that extra motivation to say, you know, whether it's a trip to the grocery store or, you know, a 2-hour road trip, 3-hour, however long of a road trip you're going to be on. Just sometimes when you have a car that, you know, you can kind of enjoy it by revving it up, or, you know, whatever it is that you want to do on those open roads. It's all part of the fun factor, and it definitely is something that, you know, on certain days when I might not feel like driving, knowing what I'm about to drive gives me that extra oomph and spark to say, you know what, I'm gonna knock it out. And that leaves me with my number 1 reason for really appreciating the vehicle that I have, and saying that this is a car that I'm glad that when I had the opportunity to purchase it, I did. And I would say that is the fact that the respect and appreciation that this vehicle gets, being at this point almost 10 years old, it's really something that says that this car is iconic, even only being the RT version of the car. Because every time, you know, I hop on the road, almost every day there's going to be someone that really kind of recognizes and points out this vehicle and shows that, you know, they appreciate the cool factor behind it, or, you know, the design, the retro kind of feel, that the look that it has from something that they may have had, you know, with the originals. So just the fact that this vehicle gets so much attention, even though it's almost 10 years old, says a whole lot about the fact that, you know, usually when a car is 10 years old, it's kind of considered old, and, you know, something that you don't want to really kind of promote it and brag about it in a sense. But, you know, with this car, it's something that still kind of would stand out in a crowd of the average new 2018, 2019 model vehicle, because of everything else that I said about it. It has a presence that you can't help but appreciate, and to a certain degree even respect, you know, considering the heritage that comes along with the Hemi name and the Challenger name. So, you know, with that combination, the respect, the appreciation, you know, that has to be my number one reason, because, you know, like I said, I've only had it for, you know, 5 months, more or less. And it's just like, to see the attention that it gets, it's more than I ever thought. And it just kind of is like that confirmation that, you know, when you purchase a vehicle, something that basically is like a depreciating asset, if you want to call it an asset, it's like, you know, to know that it's something that, number one, I enjoy, and number two, it's something that, you know, stands out, kind of like I like to stand out amongst the crowd myself, in a way where it's like, you know, basically lead and not follow. And that's kind of sort of the personality of this car. It's a car that stands out and says, I'm different. So, you know, that right there is just that much more of a reason to say that this car is definitely it for me, as far as one of the best vehicle decisions I've made thus far. And like I say, this is my first muscle car / sports car, however you want to look at it. So to be my first one, it definitely makes it that much more better for me to say, you know, good investment, because I look at it as more of an investment than anything else. And with that being said, that's the top 5 reasons why I definitely enjoy the fact that I have a Dodge Challenger RT. And this is definitely a vehicle that you're going to see a lot more on this channel. So definitely leave your feedback, like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. If you have one, thinking about getting one, you know, just let me know what you think about, you know, all the different sports vehicles, from the lightweights to the heavyweights. And on that note, this video is all said and done. Thanks for watching. I'm out.